Hi, I'm Luke Geller, and welcome back to another episode of the Identity in Christ Chronicles. This episode is called Rabbit Poop, and it's actually meant to be funny, and it is funny, but it's a story about me and my cousins when we were, 4 or 5 years old, just little kids, but it also serves to illustrate, even at that tender age, plans can go down that are of a sinful nature. And I think that is important to understand that in Christianity, there is basically an age of understanding, which is different for everyone, to my understanding, that where God holds you accountable because you are of an age where you understand the difference between right and wrong. And so, for us, clearly it was at a young age. And I think the smarter these generations get, the earlier that age is going to be. So anyway, this one's called Rabbit Poop. It's funny, so enjoy. Rabbit poop. I've always had a devious streak in me, so my cousin Aaron and I have always gotten along swimmingly. Aaron is a few years younger than me. He's actually as old as my little sister Jenny. They would usually pal around at the start of the visits when we would go to Grammy's on Sundays. But after a bit, he needed to seek out some mischief or prove to his big brothers that he could do the most outrageous or fantastic or dumbest thing of all. This particular memory is where Jenny, Aaron, and I just were where Jenny, Aaron, and I were down by the Leetort where we had just found quote-unquote crickets, as my sister referred to them as. Anyways, we were all sitting down there by the Leetort when I just so happened to notice a pile of rabbit turds on the ground. I would probably have to say that I was probably 5 or 6 years old at the time, because Aaron had said, "Are those raisins?" I said without hesitation, "Of course." He took a small handful of the turds and put them in his mouth and began to chew. I can still remember the look on his face as his tongue tried to push out the then mangled poop as it rolled down his chin. I could see the anger building on his face as he tackled me forward. Aaron was always up for a good rumble, and that's something that followed us for decades. One thing about Aaron is that he is consistent, and his word is his bond. I love Uncle Aaron too because of his relationship with God. Aaron's no saint, but then again, he's never claimed to be perfect. Aaron has a type of charisma that's almost palpable, and downplays his raw intelligence, which God has obviously gifted him with. We even look the same. Well, at least compared to Tommy or Danny. Here's another example of how character manifests itself in the rebuilding process of our failures. I can remember accidentally hitting him with a baseball bat, running over his head with a bike tire, also accidental, and karate kicking him through my Grammy Keller's lamp, which snapped in half. Aaron always took the lickings like a champ that he had to get from Uncle Jim. But that was nothing compared to the boxing matches we would have, which started when I turned 12 or 13. Over and over and over again, probably at least a solid 100 times I whooped up on Aaron like it was my part-time job. He would always get back up, so enthused that he had been beaten, give me a hug and ask for more. I feel that this form of discipline was basically a way for him to say, "I'm stronger than this," which no doubt takes a part in his military career and getting his Ranger tab. Aaron said to me one day when we were reminiscing about our childhood that steel sharpens steel. This was his response to me saying that he should seek some form of political office. What he meant was that because of the experiences that we had, and him getting his butt whooped by me, that the blade by which he could use to cut through life was sharp because of people like myself. It means that we make each other stronger, and with And without the lessons that he gleaned from defeat, he wouldn't know or be the person that he is today. Life isn't necessarily about being in the spotlight, although God does call some of us to do just that. But more so, life is about pursuing the relationships that make us better, and letting go of chasing the things that will eventually destroy us if we don't become wise. Stay away from that rabbit poop.